Getting Started with Latin is a one-book course to introduce an independent middle school student to the language. It's different from other Latin curriculum, and that's by design. The author, William Linney, is a Latin enthusiast, but he's not a fan of traditional Latin instruction. His belief is that Latin should be self-explanatory, self-paced, and self-contained. A student should be able to progress without a teacher. He wanted to make Latin easy to learn by mastering a concept through practice exercises before moving on to the next concept. There are 3 components: the textbook, audio files for pronunciation, and audio files with lesson commentary. This course has 143 lessons that a student could complete over a school year or even in a semester. Free audio files provide pronunciation help from the author as an example for the student to imitate. A second collection of audio files provides brief commentary to guide the student through each lesson. Here, the author expands on the lesson concept. He might connect to a past lesson or even compare something to English to help the student comprehend new information. You can download both sets of audio files as either MP3 files or a YouTube playlist from the book's website. A one-page pronunciation guide in the back of the book is helpful as a handy reference, and even here you can see the author's unconventional take on learning sounds. His written examples are effective but do not use the International Phonetic Alphabet. With his method, words and concepts are introduced gradually in daily bite-sized lessons, about 5 to 15 minutes a day. Students will only learn the beginning stages of Latin grammar, so it cannot be used for a high school credit. That said, it's a good choice for the middle schooler to explore an interest in Latin, preparing for a deeper course in high school. It would also be a good option for an adult curious about the Latin language. Audio files include both a classical and ecclesiastical pronunciation. Classical is considered the academic pronunciation, while ecclesiastical is considered the Catholic Church preference. Just choose one for the entire course. They're not so different, and you can choose whichever you prefer. A typical lesson will include reading from the text and listening to the audio files for additional instruction and practice. Complete the written work and check your answers. Written work consists of translating up to 10 sentences from Latin to English using what you've learned, and students are encouraged to compare the languages. Grammar is presented with charts and examples. It's recommended you keep a notebook for your exercises. An answer key is found in the back of the book. You're encouraged to speak Latin, not just write it. Use your pronunciation files as a guide and practice as often as you can. A parent can quiz your student by backing up to a previous lesson and ask them to translate the exercises. Check their answers in the back of the book. You could also ask them to translate directly from the audio files to check their retention and comprehension of the language. Let's take a look at the first several short lessons and then some later in the text. Lesson 1 has one word, nauta. It means sailor. Do you recognize modern words using this Latin root? The book tells you the first syllable sounds like now, and the author also encourages you to use the audio files. That's it. Lesson 1 is done. Lesson 2 is a concept. You learn there are no articles used before a noun in Latin, no a, an, or the. Using the word nauta from Lesson 1, you learn that it can refer to sailor, a sailor, or the sailor just by itself. Listen to your audio files, and that's it. Lesson 2 is done. Lessons 3 and 4 are combining words and discussing word order. Then you have one of the fun Latin expressions sections using some of the words in a way you may recognize, like the phrase cogito ergo sum. It means I think, therefore I am. The next several lessons include familiar words like ego, agricola, et, non, and poeta. The exercises get longer, but with words you've spent time on. Let's skip to lesson 88, where we have some grammar, in this case, infinitives. Instruction is clear, concise, and it's about English to make sure the reader knows what infinitive is before you proceed. You'll be conjugating verbs on the next page as seen here. As always, use the audio files with the lesson. By the end of the book, a student will have a decent Latin vocabulary, an introductory understanding of the first and second declensions, and the 5 case endings in both singular and plural and how they work, and be prepared to either study a formal Latin course in high school or simply apply what they've learned in this course. Students can continue their study with the follow-up course called Keep Going with Latin, with 154 lessons to complete. You have more free audio files to help you study with the same short lesson style as the first book. You'll use the language of language learning even more here, such as gender and case of a noun form. So be sure you're confident in your understanding. Quick review boxes in the book and the audio commentary files help you with this process. You'll add the vocative case, and there are topical lessons including the theater, Roman roads, and homes. There's a lot of grammar, and the exercises are more demanding, but still not very long, at only 10 sentences. This is not a high school credit option, even with both books. Getting started with Latin is an efficient way to explore the Latin language with your family. You can easily use it with multiple students, each writing in their own notebook, starting about 4th grade. It's inexpensive and straightforward. The free audio downloads assure correct pronunciation of difficult words and phrases. To continue your Latin study for high school credit, have a look at Henley, Oxford, Wheelock, or Cambridge Latin. If you would like more information about this program or other materials we carry, please contact our curriculum consultants during business hours by phone at 888-841-3456 or live chat, or after hours by email, consultants@rainbowresource.com. Be sure to like and subscribe for more helpful homeschooling videos.